Good morning, everyone. My name is Lorraine Cunningham, and I'm the chair of the TransLink board. And I'd like to welcome you to TransLink's October 2025 open board meeting. Thank you all for joining us virtually today. At this time, I'd like to call our meeting to order. And I'd like to start by saying that we respect the Indigenous nations within Metro Vancouver and acknowledge all First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people for their continued resilience, sustainable stewardship, and as active members of the community for generations to come. We recognize that in planning and managing the region's transportation system, we have a role to play in supporting reconciliation with our Indigenous peoples. Yesterday, September 30th, was the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation, also known as Orange Shirt Day. This day serves as a solemn reminder of the lasting impacts of the residential school system. We honor the Indigenous children who never returned home, the survivors who endured profound trauma, their families, and the communities forever changed by these injustices. It's a time to reflect, to learn, and to recognize the intergenerational harm still felt today by Indigenous peoples across Canada. You may have noticed that many of our board members using a virtual background featuring artwork by Musqueam artist Gracie Lou. Her piece, Communication of the Raven, draws the raven's power to communicate, adapt, and transform. Ravens gather together, symbolizing meaningful dialogue built on honesty, respect, and integrity, values that are central to reconciliation. While September 30th is a significant day of recognition, reconciliation cannot be confined to a single date on the calendar. It is an ongoing responsibility we each share, and I encourage all of us to continue creating space for learning, reflection, and action as we move forward on this collective journey. Before we begin this meeting, I'd like to congratulate Director Alan Seckel on his appointment to the Order of British Columbia. The Order of BC recognizes individuals from all walks of life and fields of endeavor who have made extraordinary contributions to the province. It is British Columbia's highest honor. Director Seckel received his award for his leadership and lasting impact across law, government, and community, helping to shape a more just and inclusive BC. Congratulations, Alan. This honor is well-deserved, and we continue to be proud of your contributions to the TransLink Board of Directors and beyond. We are grateful for your leadership, compassion, and deep commitment to the public good. Now, before we move to our agenda, are there any items in the consent agenda that a director wishes to remove from consent for discussion? So seeing none, I'd now like to introduce Tracy Reddies, who will present today's safety moment.
Thank you, Chair. We're over summer now. October is upon us, and winter, unfortunately, is coming down the pipeline. And last week I was in Kelowna and noticed many signs that as of October 1st to April 30th, you need snow tires to go into the interior. So I just thought I'd add a few other safety tips for traveling in the winter. Just like TransLink has to do its vehicle maintenance and keeping in mind winter conditions, so should we with our own vehicles, and make sure that they are properly maintained, as you don't want to break down in winter. You should have a road kit, including flares, reflective triangles, and basic tools to do basic repairs. You should carry a tool that allows you to break a window in the event of it being necessary. You should carry, obviously, flashlights, up-to-date or fully charged phones, and a backup charger. And finally, you should carry food and water and blankets for 3 days, because notwithstanding that the likelihood is you won't be stuck for 3 days. I did have friends who 4 years ago were stuck in the slide and flooding in the Fraser Valley for 3 days. So all these things we should kind of keep in mind as the weather deteriorates. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Tracy. That's a great reminder. My snow tires are being changed this week. So thank you. So as there's no public delegations today, I'm going to move to CEO Kevin Quinn for him to present his report. And thank you, Kevin.
Okay, thank you, Chair, and good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here today. Today I'll be providing updates on several key initiatives, including the Mark V train entering passenger service, the bus service expansion that's being delivered as part of our fall service changes, and the progress that we're making to advance bus rapid transit in the region. I'll also highlight our new advertising partnership with Pattison Outdoor, our ongoing work to replace aging elevators along the Expo line, a recap of some customer-focused summer initiatives, and a really exciting milestone that we've achieved by our transit-friendly employer program. Next slide, please. As Chair Cunningham noted, yesterday, September 30th, was National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, also known as Orange Shirt Day. TransLink honors the survivors and lost children of residential schools and stands in solidarity with Indigenous communities, acknowledging the legacy and ongoing impacts of residential schools. This year, in commemoration and to help raise awareness, TransLink partnered with the Orange Shirt Day Society to create a special edition t-shirt featuring artwork by Indigenous artist Shanta Campbell. Shanta's late grandfather, David Martin, was a residential school survivor, and her design tells the story of his escape from Alert Bay to Bella Bella through Indigenous coastal formline art. This shirt was available for purchase on the TransLink store in September, with proceeds supporting the Orange Shirt Day Society's initiatives. As stewards of the region's transportation system, we do play a very important role in supporting lasting and meaningful reconciliation. In August, we released our second TransLink reconciliation report, reflecting on our actions in 2024 and outlining how we're building on this progress. This encompasses service expansion to improve access to First Nations lands, recruitment initiatives, continuous cultural training, community engagement and advocacy, and cultural recognition projects such as integrating Indigenous art and languages across the transit system. And although we've made a lot of progress, we must continue to move forward with our reconciliation journey, building a deeper understanding and awareness of both historical and modern realities. The work ahead requires collaboration with First Nations, urban Indigenous communities, and Indigenous businesses to ensure our steps reflect the needs and priorities of Indigenous peoples. We're absolutely dedicated to fostering strong partnerships that honor the past, acknowledge the present, and contribute to a shared future. Next slide, please. On Monday, September 1st, we rolled out more frequent service on 53 bus routes across Metro Vancouver as part of our fall service changes. And this marked the beginning of the largest bus service expansion since 2018. And it's all thanks to funding from our 2025 investment plan approved this past April. What this means is more space and less crowding on some of our busiest routes and better connections to post-secondary schools and industrial areas. We've also shifted some buses from summer destinations back to schools and employment hubs to really match where demand is highest this time of year. And I want to note that this is just the beginning. About a quarter of the bus service expansion funded through the 2025 investment plan rolled out in September, with more improvements coming each quarter. This is a major step toward delivering more reliable, more frequent, and less crowded service for our customers across the region. Next slide, please. On July 10th, the first new Mark V SkyTrain entered passenger service, marking an exciting milestone in SkyTrain's transformation to serve our growing region. And since then, 3 more Mark Vs have entered service, and by 2029, all 47 trains in this order will be in service on the Expo and Millennium lines. Among many features, the 5-car Mark V offers 25% more capacity than existing trains, giving customers a more spacious and comfortable ride. The Mark V design was really shaped by feedback from a 2019 public consultation, resulting in more standing room, better space for mobility devices, strollers, bikes, and luggage, and the ability for customers to walk the full length of the train through all 5 connected cars. To celebrate, we held a ribbon-cutting ceremony with the Minister of Housing and Infrastructure, Gregor Robertson, representatives from Alstom, members of the Mayor's Council, many of you board members on this call today, and the artists whose Indigenous artwork is featured on the new trains. After the ceremony, hundreds of customers visited Waterfront Station for an open house, touring the train and receiving commemorative certificates and giveaways. The Mark V fleet is really central to SkyTrain's future expansion, supporting the Broadway subway and Surrey Langley SkyTrain extensions. And as we move forward, I also want to note that it's important to remember how we got here. Part of the reason these trains are rolling today is because of the forward-thinking, long-term planning for transit expansion that took place more than 15 years ago, really set out in the 2014 Mayor's Vision. Transit in Metro Vancouver is already leading the way across North America, but investments like the Mark V trains, they don't happen overnight. And they're an excellent example of how all levels of government can work together to invest in what our region needs, and it's critical that we keep this momentum going. Next slide, please. Although we often talk about major improvements to our system, like the Mark V, it's equally important to highlight the other customer-facing enhancements that we're making. On September 22nd, TransLink opened a new customer washroom at Metrotown SkyTrain Station, delivering on the #1 requested amenity from our 2022 Customer Experience Action Plan engagement. Located on the ground level of the station, the facility includes 4 individual stalls, one of which is fully accessible and is staffed by a dedicated washroom attendant to ensure cleanliness, comfort, and security. To create a warm, welcoming atmosphere and to help deter vandalism, the washroom also features bright, colorful artwork by Vancouver artist Sandeep Johal. Metrotown Station was selected because of its central location and the cost efficiency of using a largely constructed facility. Feedback from this new washroom will help guide potential future facilities across the system. Next slide, please. Speaking of more frequent service that we've rolled out recently, we've also taken important steps forward with our bus rapid transit program. Between August 25th and September 21st, we reached out to the public to hear their thoughts about the Metrotown to North Shore bus rapid transit corridor. In this engagement, we asked the public to provide feedback on the project and provide their thoughts on station locations and 2 potential routing options. Through stakeholder briefings, 5 public open houses, 10 community events, including car-free days, discussions with bus operators, and digital and physical materials sent to households along the corridor, we made every effort to connect with thousands of community members in different ways. Soon, we will be sharing a What We Heard report, which will help us determine the preferred route in Vancouver and Burnaby. Next slide, please. Earlier this year, we also sought public input on routes and station locations for 2 other future BRT projects in Surrey, Maple Ridge, and the township of Langley. Nearly 15,000 people completed surveys and provided their feedback, with 89% of respondents reporting that BRT would improve transportation in their community. All 3 of these corridors are key to improving connections to growing communities, transit hubs, and opportunities for both workers and employers in collaboration with local government partners. In addition to progressing corridor work, we've also advanced work on technology solutions that are estimated to reduce travel times by 10 to 15% and keep these BRT lanes clear, ensuring fast and reliable trips. Technologies include transit signal priority, which give buses traffic priority in intersections, and automated bus lane enforcement, which will enhance our on-time performance by ensuring only buses are using bus lanes. We continue to work closely with staff across municipalities and our partners to advance the BRT program. Next slide, please. Transit advertising is also entering a new exciting chapter. On August 1st, Pattison Outdoor became TransLink's primary advertising provider across our entire network, including buses, SkyTrain, CBus, and West Coast Express. And this new agreement brings modern digital tools and dynamic advertising to our network. For customers, this means we'll be able to share service alerts, emergency messaging, and updates in real time, getting information out faster and more effectively. These upgrades also support our efforts to improve efficiency and reduce operating costs. By moving to more digital advertising and fewer paper ads, we'll cut down on the need for physical replacements. This allows our transit staff to focus on other priorities across the system, ultimately making service better for our customers. Next slide, please. As part of TransLink's maintenance and upgrade program, work is now underway to replace the original elevators along the Expo line, most of which have been in service since the opening of SkyTrain in 1985. This builds on the successful replacement of 37 original escalators across the system. And we aren't just replacing them, but we are improving them. The new ones will offer 20% more space, making it easier for customers using mobility devices, strollers, bikes, and luggage. They're also designed for greater reliability with cooling systems to prevent overheating in hot weather, and they need less downtime for maintenance, which means fewer impacts for customers and staff. Each elevator replacement takes about 4 months to complete, and upgrades are already underway at Nanaimo and 22nd Street stations, with additional stations scheduled in the coming months. These improvements are an important part of keeping our transit system safe, reliable, and accessible for everyone for years to come. Next slide, please. Last quarter, I shared an overview of some of the community events across the region where TransLink would be engaging with customers. And I'm happy to share that among many community events, we attended a record 11 car-free days, the Vancouver Pride Parade and the PNE Fair. And not only were these events a lot of fun, but together they attracted millions of attendees, giving us an incredible opportunity to engage directly with the public to strengthen community connections, promote transit and active transportation, and celebrate transit's vital role in our region. I also highlighted our summer ridership campaign and can now report that we distributed nearly 50,000 transit passports. These encourage riders to explore local attractions and support local businesses using transit while collecting stamps, and offered exclusive discounts as well as a chance to win a free year of transit. Another exciting initiative was the launch of TransLink's trading cards. These free limited edition collectible cards debuted on August 8th at the Waterfront Customer Service Center and were distributed at community events by frontline staff through social media giveaways and traded among fans, creating a fun and engaging way to share some love for transit. I was at the launch, was thrilled to see hundreds of fans lined up as early as 5:30 a.m. to get a randomized starter package. The inaugural set featured 5 unique transit vehicles, with the Mark I SkyTrain and West Coast locomotive being the rarest. The response has been overwhelmingly positive from both customers and staff, with many new cards already being suggested, and so stay tuned. More cards may be coming soon. Next slide, please. Finally, I'm pleased to share that TransLink's transit-friendly employer program has now grown to include more than 50 organizations, representing nearly 15,000 employees who are receiving subsidized transit passes across Metro Vancouver. This program really recognizes employers who are leading the way in creating a more sustainable, connected, and climate-friendly region. We'll be sharing more on this successful program later in the meeting. Next slide, please. Thank you so much for your time today, and I'm happy to answer any questions that the board may have. Thanks.
Kevin, thank you very much. That was a great report and lots of information. Do we have any questions from board members in regards to Kevin's report? I know many of us have been in committee meetings and lots of conversations around similar things. So Kevin, I think you're off the hook for now. And
Thank you so much.
I'm going to call upon Sandy Thane now as the President and General Manager of BC Rapid Transit Company to give his report. Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you, Chair, and happy to provide the board with an update from BCRTC. If we can move to the next slide. As usual, I will organize my comments under our 3 priorities: delivering excellent service to the public, something we focus on every day, achieving future readiness for our ambitious growth plan, and then working on our culture, which makes it all happen. If we can go to the next slide. We continue to track our key performance indicators and make sure we're measuring ourselves the way our customers expect us to perform. Some of the numbers I would like to profile this meeting, the one in the middle, customer satisfaction of 8.4 out of 10. This is one of the highest ratings we've ever achieved, and we're achieving it despite continued growth in the customer boardings. The number you see on the extreme left, 26.5 million boardings, in the last quarter represented additional growth. We're doing that while maintaining a very high level of service delivery. We're a little bit under on our on-time performance, but that number has been improving the last 3 months, and we're happy to see that. So there are many other key performance indicators that we track, and it's really important for us to make sure that we hold ourselves accountable for the service we provide to our customers. Next slide, please. Continuing on service, we want to profile the incredible growth and ridership that West Coast Express has been experiencing in Q2, and overall in 2024, it's a 10% increase. It's our best performing service this year. We've been adding cars to better serve our customers as the numbers grow. And while we talk a lot about SkyTrain's 40th anniversary in 2025, this is also West Coast Express's 30th anniversary this year, and we'll be holding a small celebration with the team in November. Next slide, please. We do a lot of work behind the scenes to keep the system in a state of good repair, and our excellent service results don't happen by accident. They happen because a lot of work goes on in terms of rail grinding for noise mitigation. We, in the last quarter, completed a very major switch replacement in the Surrey area, which allowed us to replace a very old piece of equipment with newer, more modern, more reliable equipment. We have started doing rail replacement work between Royal Oak and Edmonds. Again, replacing rail maintains the integrity of our system. Kevin mentioned the elevator replacement project, replacing some very old units that have been serving us well since the mid-1980s. We realize this is disruptive to our customers. We thank them for their patience. They will be seeing that the elevators are down at Nanaimo and 22nd as we work on replacing those units. Next slide, please. Building a little bit on Kevin's comments related to the Mark Vs, we're very happy to have 4 of them now in service. What happens with us behind the scenes at the yard here is every time we enter a Mark V train into service, it allows us to retire old equipment. So we've been retiring the Mark Is after serving us well for a lot of years. In the pipeline for us are the next 4 Mark V trains. So trains 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are in various stages of testing or preparations. A couple of them are here at the Operations and Maintenance Center undergoing testing. Train 7 is preparing to ship to our region, while trains 8 and 9 are currently undergoing testing in Kingston. In total, 47 of these trains will be entering service, and we've now operationalized the process by which one after another, we're thinking around 1 every month, will be entering in service and providing our customers with that new modern experience of a better train for them to ride on. Next slide, please. Facilities are needed to accommodate our growth. One of the next online facilities which we are working on is what we call Vehicle Maintenance Shop 3 or VMS 3. This is a building here in our Burnaby yard, which allows us to maintain those Mark V trains. So this is the first purpose-built maintenance facility which can accommodate the Mark Vs. We're currently testing the systems in this new building, and we're getting ready for December occupancy this year. And we're very excited to have a little bit more elbow room to allow us to maintain our new trains. Next slide, please. Kevin mentioned a bit about the ongoing works for the system expansion. Our BCRTC team works very closely with TransLink and the provincial teams on making progress on the Broadway subway project and the Surrey Langley SkyTrain project. Both are in good shape and progressing very rapidly. The main work going on now with Broadway is station construction. So those stations are beginning to take shape, including things like track and escalator installations. The public is seeing the guideway pillars going up on Surrey Langley SkyTrain. Very exciting to see how much progress is being made along Fraser Highway connecting King George with Langley. Next slide, please. Everything I mentioned is part of one system. We like to say at BCRTC, it is all one single system that we operate and maintain, and we do it through one team. And it's really important for us to keep on working on our culture. Through the summer, we redoubled our commitment to safety and introduced our value of safe people, safe places, safe projects. As we like to say, safety is ahead of everything that we do. We want our people to be safe, our places to be safe, and our projects to be safe. And we are instilling that value and living it as best as we can on a day-to-day basis. Our injury rate is showing progress, better than target for 2 quarters straight, and we're very proud of that. Our passenger injuries are better than target, and we've rolled out Be More Than a Bystander training. This is for mental health and psychological safety. Many of our team members have participated in this training. It's now more than 250 who've gone through this training. And with the feedback being that it's very well received and exceptionally valuable training for our teams. Next slide. We talk a lot about what the public is seeing in terms of our new facilities and new equipment. We are 1,500 people at BCRTC. We also need to learn and get to know our new facilities and our new equipment. So behind the scenes, a lot of work goes into introducing our team members to their new homes in many cases, be it the new maintenance shop or the new control center, or of course the new trains that our teams work on. So we do a lot of internal tours and education and training to get our folks ready to serve the public through our new facilities as BCRTC grows. And on to our last slide. A big part of what we do is celebrate who we are. And all the good things that happen behind the scenes at BCRTC. I want to highlight Mike Blom, our STA. A story which really fills us with pride. Mike is actually representing Canada at the World Taekwondo Championships. He's done it several times, and he'll be going off to Croatia to be a national representative in that sport. And so we're very proud of what Mike is doing. He tells us that as a kid, he wanted to be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle and found his outlet in Taekwondo. Great story, very proud of him, and we wish him well in the competition. Our teams collectively have participated in a Burnaby General Hospital clothing drive, which is currently ongoing until the end of October. That's one of the things we do to help in the community. And we're always very happy to see the public giving us commendations and noticing the good work that our teams do. We received 22 commendations for our frontline staff in the last quarter. And we share those with all the team to show the acknowledgement and the gratitude that we have for our team members. I think that was my last slide, Chair, and I'm very happy to take questions from any of the board members.
Thank you very much, Sandy, for that report. While I'm waiting to see if any board members have any questions for you, I just wanted to say how nice it is to see with all your hard work that your customer satisfaction numbers have gone up. I know you work very hard to service the customers, and there's a lot going on. I'm curious about your on-time performance. Do you attribute some of that to like the drop in it a little bit around all the maintenance and the work that's going on in the system? Is that part of what is impacting your on-time performance?
Yeah, excellent question. We've taken some really deep dives into our on-time performance. A couple of them big drivers. One is this current single tracking, which is going on between the Braid and Lougheed stations, where we're building the new operations and maintenance center. Our customers in that area are aware we're doing single tracking to allow the construction to happen on the guideway. That's created a bottleneck on the system, and bottlenecks always challenge our on-time performance. We have a lot less flexibility. So one delayed train could become many delayed trains when we have a bottleneck part of the system. Another contributor to our on-time performance has been training. As we are staffing up with more people, we need to train them. The training happens on the line, and sometimes that degrades our on-time performance. Our teams have responded really well to both issues and are finding innovative solutions, both in terms of scheduling trains, minimizing the number of trains that need to use that single tracking area, and scheduling training as efficiently as possible to minimize the impact on on-time performance.
Great, thank you. Are there any questions for Sandy in regards to his report?
Madam Chair, not a question, but a comment. I traveled the SkyTrain extensively, and I was really impressed. Zanny, I saw a situation where a staff member, I'm not sure what, like it was a safety person or whatever, but there was a person in a wheelchair who was having a hard time getting the wheelchair on the SkyTrain, and the safety person was there, helped them get on, and actually must have phoned ahead because there was somebody at the other end that helped them get off. So I was really, really impressed with what I saw. So I wanted to pass that on. I see a lot of this stuff when I'm traveling, and it's great to see it.
Thank you, Director Hyde. We've over the past couple of months, we've redoubled our guidance to our SkyTrain attendants to do exactly what you described. So it's great to hear that that's something you saw. Thank you.
And Sandy, before we wrap up, I just want to also acknowledge all your work around safety. I think this is so important for such a growing organization, with all the expansion going on, that there's still a high level of focus on the safety piece. So I just want to acknowledge you for that work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So with that, I'm going to now ask Mike McDaniel from the Coast Mountain Bus Company, President and General Manager, to provide his report.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, Board. I will apologize ahead of time. I am fighting a early fall cold, so I may have a bit of a cough going on here, but I will do my best. Happy to be here on behalf of CMBC to deliver today's report. Let's go to the next slide, please. So as you see on your screen there, we do have a few updates for you today, from us, our normal service updates to innovation, and even an ADI update as well. So let's go get started here on the next slide. So first off, I'll take a look through our bus and handy dart service and performance. On the conventional side, CMBC delivered 99% of our service compared to budget. As we started to share in June, you'll see our on-time performance numbers here, and I'll spend a little bit of time on this today. On-time performance is broken down by bus regularity for frequent service and bus punctuality for less frequent service. For the past quarter, we came in at 79% and 81% respectively. Now, just for a bit of context, studies have shown that when a bus service is more frequent, customers care more about the bus if the bus comes in regular intervals versus less frequent service, where customers care about a specific time that bus is going to come. So at CMBC, we measure both of those. Frequent service, we define as 5 buses or more per hour, is measured by headway adherence or regularity, which you see there on your screen. Infrequent service, which is less than 5 buses per hour, is measured if the bus departs on time or punctuality. Now, we're proud of these numbers. Our on-time performance is around 80%, as I mentioned, which is very high in comparison to our peers around the world. While some agencies consider a bus to be on time if it's early by about 5 minutes, late by 5 minutes, we hold ourselves to a tighter window than that, which is early by 1 minute, late by 3 minutes. And naturally, we need to take into consideration all of the challenges on the road that we are not in control of, which is many. And of course, all the way along, safety is our top priority. Now, turning our attention to service changes, we implemented fall service changes on September 1st. As Kevin mentioned at the beginning, this marks a start of the implementation of the 2025 investment plan commitments that were approved earlier this year. CMBC introduced more than 65,000 service hours to permanently improve 53 routes across Metro Vancouver, addressing overcrowding and improving convenience and connectivity and extending hours of service. In addition to these permanent changes, summer seasonal service improvements obviously were discontinued, and resources were redirected to support fall travel patterns, which of course more like schools, universities, and workplaces. Now, on the handy dart side, for Q2 2025, 98% of the requested trips were delivered, and as always, this excludes client cancellations. Lastly, on-time performance was just shy of 90%, 89.9, which is right on target that we set. Next slide, please. So just a quick fleet update for you here. Q2 and Q3 are usually busy quarters for bus deliveries. We have been receiving many new compressed natural gas or CNG buses, as well as community shuttle buses. About half of the order of CNG buses are here and either in the commissioning process or already on the road. All the new shuttles are here and will be in service by the end of November. And the battery electric buses, all 7, most of them are here and arrived and will be in service by the end of November. Next slide, please. Now, of course, electrification is not just about buying new buses. There are many other elements that support our zero emission work. Training, specifically maintenance training, is one of them. The mechanics, electronic technicians, and other positions in our garages ensure that these buses run smoothly and reliably for our customers. And to support them, they need very good training. Now, this might come as a surprise, but this is not something that is provided by the manufacturers when we receive a new bus. It is something that our internal teams have to put together. And in this case, for our new battery electric buses, it took about 3,500 hours of our training staff time to build these modules. The training they created is detailed maintenance learning programs, including interactive online courses and hands-on in-person modules. A big kudos to our training team that developed this. Next, they'll do the same for the Solaris buses that we are expecting in the near future. They've already begun to engage with the Solaris team out of Poland, allowing our opportunity to assess train the trainer scenarios and quality of content. The aim is to begin developing foundational training when the pilot bus arrives, actually next year. Next slide, please. Now, this is a bit of a neat thing here. I'd like to share a bit more good news from our maintenance teams. Here you'll see two different types of lockout devices. Our CMBC engineering designed these devices to lock out trolley bus batteries in a safe or off position to prevent accidental release of energy during maintenance or repair. The lockout devices are only used during maintenance activities. When the cables from the battery pack are disconnected, these lockout devices ensure that only the person with a key to the lock can remove them and reconnect the cables once maintenance is complete. These are not devices that are used when the trolley is in operation. They're only used when work is being done, and it's just one more layer of safety for our garages. This hazard was recently identified, and our engineers acted quickly to solve the problem. Their solution was to scan these with a 3D scanner that we have and print them on a 3D printer and install them. So kudos to the team. A very neat story there. Next slide, please. Now, just an update on our satellite bus parking. As a reminder, one of the largest challenges that we have facing us right now is that our depots are virtually at full capacity, making additional expansion a challenge. In June, we began a pilot program in which some R1 and R6 buses slept overnight at our satellite facilities at Newton Layover in Surrey, instead of returning to their home depot at the end of the service day. The picture you see here on the screen is a dedicated group of our managers making sure that that program kicked off successfully one early morning at 3:30 in the morning. So far, the pilot is going very well, and feedback from transit operators has been quite positive, actually, and has also been seamless for our customers. Next slide, please. Now, on the technology side, a hydrogen fuel cell bus came for a visit this summer. During a week-long test, our operations and maintenance folks enjoyed checking out the New Flyer 40-foot Excelsior bus. The bus completed 10 different routes and covered 540 kilometers of non-revenue service. We also held a show and shine event internally at Burnaby Transit Center with over 100 employees in attendance. Feedback was gathered and was generally positive. Now, we don't have any immediate plans to incorporate hydrogen fuel cell technology into our zero emission fleet, but we are doing our best to stay on top of all of the technologies that are out there as we work towards our zero emission goals. Next slide, please. Now, just moving along to our employee side, over the last couple of years, I've shared changes that we've been making to our Recover at Work programs. Today, I'm happy to share some outcomes of that. Now, as you know, safety is CMBC's top priority, and we're committed to preventing injuries before they occur. We've made significant progress in lowering our injury rates. But we do know that injuries can and do happen, and that then moves our focus and changes our focus to getting employees back to work safely. Research has shown that returning employees back to work when it is safe to do so while recovering has many benefits, including supporting employees' mental and physical well-being. The changes that we've made with our program include updating our policy, expanding alternate modified duties, and ensuring the lines of communication are open immediately. Now that these changes have been in place for about a year and a half now, we can clearly see a steady downward trend in days lost due to workplace injury. These changes are good for everyone involved, and we will continue to focus on this area going forward. Next slide, please. Now, as my almost final slide here, I'd like to introduce some more information from our Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion area. Our EDI program manager recently developed and delivered a virtual EDI workshop on anti-racism and cross-cultural awareness for employees. It will be delivered on a quarterly basis and will act as a part 2, so to speak, to the in-person introductory EDI workshop that has been delivered to exempt teams across CMBC over the last 2 years. The first workshop was held on July 9th and had 243 participants. We consider that a great success, and we'll be moving forward with a second workshop actually very, very soon. Next slide, please. And now just to close, some photos from our Richmond Transit Center's 25th anniversary celebration on September 5th. The Transit Center back in the day was a purpose-built and part of the infrastructure to launch the 98 B-Line bus. 25 years later, we see that the express bus set a precedent for the rapid bus service that we have across Metro Vancouver today. And of course, the BRT routes that are coming, as Kevin mentioned earlier. That concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Mike, thank you very much for that report. That was great. I like seeing that bus in the last picture, that little 403. That was very cute. Kind of interesting to see these buses as they evolve over the years of new designs, etc. So do we have any questions for Mike? I just want to remind board members that we're still working very much. You didn't spend too much time on Handy Dart, but I know it's top of mind for everybody at the bus company. So, and that will be something that we'll be working on in the months to come. But I just wanted to point that out. I was just, reflecting on your on-time performance with a bus and the number of challenges that happen when there's so much construction. And in the summertime, there's construction everywhere. So I assume these numbers get even worse during the summer period. So it'll be interesting to see as time unfolds here.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Obviously our on-time performance does fluctuate a little bit with each, we call our schedule or our sheet. But we do our best to make sure that we are working with cities, understanding what's going on ahead of time. Construction is obviously very much pre-planned, and we try to find rerouting around that. But we do focus on it. We want to make sure that we're delivering reliable on-time service for our customers, and we do our best. We will continue to do that. Thank you.
And I just want to say, I think that device, that lockout device that you guys created is very clever and quite resourceful.
Thank you.
That you 3D printed it. So thank you. I see that Director Howard has a question. Stephen. You're on mute, Stephen.
There. Am I off mute?
Yes, you're good now.
I'm going to just follow on your comment, Lorraine, about the Handy Dart service. Mike, the report makes reference to access transit service delivery pilots that you're working on in conjunction with TransDev. Is there a brief summary that you could share with the board on what those involve and where you hope to go?
Sure, Director Howard. That's a broad question, but I'll do my best at kind of touching on a couple of things. One of the things that we want to make sure that we are doing is delivering as many of the requested trips as we can. And as you see in the report, we're delivering 98% plus of the trips delivered. That requires us to stay responsive to what is going on in that service. And so what we've seen over the years, we've mentioned this to the board before, is that over the last number of years, I would say kind of predicated by the pandemic, but service models have changed. And so what you saw before was a very, very large percentage of subscription trips where they were pre-planned, long-term planned, and it's gone to the majority now with on-demand trips, things that are spur-of-the-moment trips that have come up. And so it's more of an on-demand service now than a subscription service. What that requires us, and what I will say is every paratransit service across the globe has really faced this, is that what we've had to do is ensure that we can still deliver those trips. And so what you've seen is taxi trip percentages go up to ensure that we can deliver those. we're working with TransDev, as we've mentioned, to your question, on making sure that our efficiency and our productivity of our handy dart vehicles and our drivers are as high as they can be. There's certain things that we're doing around that. And just to close, what I'll just mention is that one of those is trying to minimize the amount of cancellations that we have from customers, what I would say kind of last minute. Because as you can imagine, when you get a cancellation within a system that's already booked, it really makes the system less efficient. And when you get a lot of those cancellations last minute, it ends up driving that a bit more. So we've been working with customers to try to minimize those. We've seen, I would say, some good trends relative to that, but we're still early on. But we will continue to work to try to make that system as efficient as we can for that customer group that we're serving.
Great. And an unrelated follow-up, if I may.
Sure.
Some reporting in your report on apprenticeships. Is there, off the top of mind, is there a percentage ratio or percent of journey people to apprentices that you strive to maintain?
Really the apprenticeship program that we have is more about capacity than it is about ratios. We've increased our membership within our apprenticeship program and our pre-apprenticeship programs as much as we can kind of manage internally, so to speak. So right now we're maxed out at 50 people. That's up from about 40 from years prior. And what I would say is that the minute that we have graduates coming in, we've already prepared others through our pre-app program to feed into that. So it's actually quite a good system. And I would say the far majority, if not almost 100% of those apprentices are hired internally the minute they graduate. It's an essential part of our recruitment process. We have been looking at trying to increase that amount from 50. It's just an internal capacity issue for us as well. So that's something that we're going to continue to look at, though.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Stephen. All right. Well, with that, thank you very much, Mike, for that great report. And I'm going to ask Chief Muir to present her report. Thank you, Suzanne.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everyone. And I'm pleased to provide you with an update on transit police activities. And today I'll be sharing with you details on a recent significant achievement by our Transit Police Detection Dog Unit, branding change for a community policing center, recent enforcement and community initiatives, including our new recruitment campaign. Next slide, please. The Transit Police Explosive Detection Dog Unit has been recognized with a formal accreditation from the Canine Law Enforcement Accreditation Registry, CLEAR. This is a formal program developed and administered by the Canadian Police Canine Association to provide standardized, nationally recognized accreditation for police canine units across Canada. The registry really plays a vital role in ensuring operational integrity, profession excellence, and public trust in the deployment of working police service dogs. And this achievement makes the Transit Police Dog Team, currently in its 15th year, one of the few canine units in Canada who have achieved this accomplishment. Next slide, please. Turning to our Waterfront Community Policing Center, it's rebranded. It's located at the Waterfront Station and will now go by the name of the Metro Vancouver Transit Police Community Policing Center program. The new name is indicative of the success of the program over the years, with over 100 registered volunteers supporting community engagement and broad policing activities across the region. Transit police volunteers conduct close to 4,000 hours of outreach and patrols every year and attend over 50 community events annually to share important safety messaging. Other activities they engage in throughout the summer months include the registering bikes under the Project 529 anti-theft program and distributing water to those in need during heat waves. As we move into the winter months, distributing blankets, toques, and cold weather items to those in need around stations becomes a greater priority for the team. Next slide, please. In July 2025, Transit Police joined with the North Vancouver RCMP and West Vancouver Police Department to coordinate a joint response to community concerns brought forward regarding drivers illegally using bus lanes. And this project was specifically designed to crack down on drivers attempting to bypass afternoon rush hour traffic by using designated bus lanes, which also impacts bus operation and causes public safety concerns. Organized by our Transit Police Target Mobile Enforcement Team, the project saw 55 drivers fined for driving in the bus lane at 2 separate locations on or near the Lionsgate Bridge in a 3-hour period on Thursday, July 31st. Another 68 violation tickets were issued for secondary offenses. 3 areas, those included distracted driving, driving without a license, speeding, and impaired driving. Enforcing these and other motor vehicle infractions keeps the road safe for all users, including our transit passengers. Next slide, please. Text messages, so 877777 non-emergency number. We continue to see increases year over year, with just under 5,500 text reports received from January to June 2025. That's an impressive 62% increase over the same period in 2024, and really demonstrates that widespread messaging placed across the transit system continues to have an impact. Additionally, outreach by our community engagement team, community safety officers, the volunteers from our community policing center I spoke about, and outreach teams coordinated by TransLink. We all collectively work together to provide information on the text service available in multiple languages to thousands of transit passengers every month. Next slide, please. And pleased to share on August 16, 2025 in Victoria, over 200 police governance members, civilians, and police leaders from across Canada met for the Canadian Association of Police Governance annual conference. Transit Police, we were honored to be selected to deliver a session on policing the moving city in Metro Vancouver. And the session really covered the unique transit police model as a specialized police service in Canada. And I had the privilege to co-present with Transit Police Board Chair Marnie Larson. And we were also supported by additional panel members, Transit Police Director of Risk Analytics and Emergency Planning, Pat Coe, and Senior Policy and Planning Advisor, Beth Nielsen. Since this presentation, other transit agencies have reached out to us from across Canada to learn more on our specialized police model, and we're pleased to be hosting the Toronto Transit Commission later this month. Next slide, please. Transit Police has been developing a new recruitment campaign for police officers to launch in October, November this year. Attracting qualified candidates, both new recruits and experienced officer, remains a high priority as we look to first meet current policing needs and prepare for the opening of the Millennium Line Broadway subway. And the campaign really highlights the variety of activities that our officers are engaged in during their daily activities, the rewarding nature of keeping 1 million boarded passengers safe during their journey each and every day, and third, the unique nature of policing a transit system that crosses through 22 different communities. The provincial government recently announced an increase in police recruit positions at the local police academy, but we still require a number of experienced officers to join our team as we continue to grow with the transit system. And in September, we were excited to hire our first part-time contract police officer. And as well, our community safety officers also continue to effectively transition to sworn members here within Transit Police. Next slide, please. And thank you very much. And I welcome any questions the board may have.
Thank you, Chief Muir, for that report. While board members are considering whether they have any questions, I just wanted to thank you on behalf of the board for hosting the board on our training and orientation and education session that you did. I think it gave the board members a real appreciation of the complexity of what it takes to oversee and keep safe as much as possible the transit system that we have. And it's encouraging to see some of the work that you're doing with the other agencies across the country. That's really, really impressive. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Chair.
Any questions for Chief Muir? Suzanne, you might be getting off. I have to say, I wonder if it would be beneficial for us to do some education around these bus lanes, you know, the protected bus areas, just so people understand, because I see vehicles going in them all the time. And it's like they don't seem to understand that it's for buses only. And so I wonder maybe something for comms to consider doing, like a little education piece about when you see those bus lanes that they're not to be driven in. I think people think, oh, empty space, let's go. So it's good that, you know, we're using the tools that you have, but I'm wondering if there's other tools that we could do from an education perspective. Director Reddy's.
Thanks, Chair, and thanks for the presentation. Really good. You'd mentioned that the text messages were up, I think, over 60%. And is that because people are more, they feel more comfortable texting, or is it because there's more incidents that are happening, or a combination of both?
Yeah, thanks, Director Reddy's, for that question. I think it's a combination. So with wider knowledge of the number, we have increased people utilizing it. You know, some relate to other incidents happening on the system as well, and then we redirect them in the appropriate manner. You know, in terms of crime itself, what we've seen, you know, is very minimal, you know, changes in crime on the system occurring. You know, with your crime rates against person just up 3%, so quite low, and crimes against property down 7%. So I do really think it is that enhanced awareness, which is resulting in people contacting the number.
So thank you, Chief Muir, and thanks for asking that question, Tracy. It was on my mind as well, was the increase in the text messages, because I think it's a great tool that the public have to reach out, get some support. So that's good. So thank you very much. So with that, the next item on the agenda is I'm going to ask Alan Seckel, who is the chair of our Finance and Audit Committee, to provide his report.
Thanks, Chair, and thanks for those kind remarks at the beginning of the meeting. The Finance and Audit Committee met on September 15th and covered areas including external audit plans, safety updates, and emergency management. Also about progress with respect to the infrastructure projects. So in a little bit more detail, we received the external auditor's audit plan, reviewed that plan for the upcoming year-end audit of TransLink's financial statements, which is part of our role of ensuring financial accountability. We always receive a quarterly safety update because safety remains a top priority at TransLink. When there is an incident, it's fully investigated and learnings are applied to ongoing programs, continuous improvements, staff training, and communications. We received an update on TransLink's implementation of health and safety software and its investment in psychological health and safety. And each report we get each quarter includes a deeper dive into a particular aspect of safety at TransLink. And at this meeting, we focused on employee injuries. All companies combined are experiencing lower employee injury rates this year. The leading causes of injury tend to be ergonomics and slips and falls, but overall the severity of injuries is also lower this year so far. We received an update on emergency management. One of the enterprise's goals is to be a disaster resilient transportation system. The updates included disaster resilience efforts and planning for large events like next year's FIFA 2026. And the report also provided an overview of our emergency response framework and enterprise work around climate adaptation and resiliency. And finally, we received several updates about the rail expansion process, most of which you've already heard in the reports from the CEO and from the president of BCRTC. And that's the report for this meeting, Chair.
Thank you very much, Alan. I know many of us were at all these committee meetings. Are there any questions for Alan of those members that were not at the committee meeting? All right, well, seeing none, we're going to move on to the Planning, Communities, and Communications Committee report, and I'm going to ask Andrea Reimer to present that report. Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you, Chairperson. We had two meetings since the last board meeting, the first of which was the Planning, Communities, and Communication Committee meeting on September 16th. Kevin Quinn gave 90% of the updates from this already, so I'll just briefly note that we talked about an update on the customer washroom program. We had our Q3 Indigenous Relations update, although you heard quite a few, pretty much all of what we talked about in Kevin's opening remarks about Truth and Reconciliation Day and the work that we've been doing as an organization. We also discussed the development of the Reconciliation Action Plan for 2026-2027, which Kevin also spoke to. He mentioned that coming up on the agenda right after our reports, there'll be an update on the Transit-Friendly Employer Program. We did discuss that, but I will wait for the update for you to hear about that. And then we had a number of quarterly reports, including the Government and Public Affairs update. It's been quite a busy time for that, as you might imagine. But Kevin spoke to most of that, and the rest of it was covered by other items in the agenda. We also had our quarterly customer experience update. The one thing I'll note there is that the 5-year customer experience action plan, the next one for 2026 to 2030, is in production right now. So that'll be something you'll be hearing more about as it gels together. And then we had the communications and marketing update for Q3, the board correspondence summary for Q3, and the key construction projects update for Q3. And that's my report.
Thank you, Director Reimer. I think we're going to have to negotiate with our CEO about what he gets to report, because he kind of steals all your thunder. You do all the work at the committee and then he reports it all.
Sorry about that.
No, I'm happy. He does the PowerPoint too. And Chairperson, I'm reminded that we did have a joint planning committee meeting, on September 18th that same week. And we did discuss the bus rapid transit. We talked about the 3 projects that are underway, how the work is going on that, as well as a 2-year work plan. And that definitely concludes my report.
All right. Thank you, Andrea. Any questions for Andrea before we move on? Well, seeing none, the chair for the Governance and HR Committee is actually just had to step off for a call. So I'm going to move on to the IT Committee chair, and then we'll come back and visit it when Director Chin returns back to the call. So Tracy.
Thank you, Chair. The IT committee met in September, had a fulsome discussion around the many projects that IT has underway, including my work, Wave 1 of the CMBC Enterprise Asset Management Program, the Bus Daily Operations or DOMS Replacement Program, the HR Digital Program, the CMBC EM Cloud Suite, a detailed design and implementation, and a number of other projects. The projects are tracking as expected. We also had a fulsome discussion around some feedback that the committee gathered over the summer with respect to how we can help the IT management team more from a more strategic perspective. So we talked a lot about how we can engage IT management with, or business technology services management rather, on some strategic and forward-looking topics that will be beneficial to TransLink going forward. As we all know that IT is a big underpinning of this operation. So more to come on that, but again, good progress being made.
Thank you very much, Director Reddies. Any questions for Tracy in regards to the report for those who were not at the meeting? Okay, well, seeing none. We're going to move on to item number 11, which is the Transit-Friendly Employer Program update. And I'm going to ask Tyler Garrison to join us and provide this report. So thank you, Tyler.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Good morning. I'm going to give a quick refresher on the Transit-Friendly Employer Program that Kevin alluded to earlier, and then I'll take any questions you may have. So the Transit-Friendly Employer Program is an employer-subsidized transit pass program, and it allows employers to cover 50% or more of the cost of transit passes for their employees as an added benefit of employment and to encourage sustainable commuting. Right now, the program has 54 certified employers in the program who are providing passes, subsidized passes, to over 15,000 employees. To date, the program has generated more than $32 million in fare revenue, and that's since November of 2022. And the program this month actually has surpassed, or I guess September, has surpassed its 2024 total revenue and is projected to reach 20 million in revenue for all of 2025. So the program's growing, and we really want to continue to build on that growth, which is why we're introducing or have introduced 2 new evolutions to the program, one being transit-friendly rewards and the other being transit-friendly stays. So the rewards pilot is a transit-friendly rewards, builds on the existing transit-friendly employer offering by offering employees the ability to earn rewards as they use transit. And really what we're looking to do is test the effectiveness of incentives on travel behavior and ridership. So seeing if we can shift people from peak times and alleviate crowding on the system. The second program, Transit-Friendly Stays, was something that we piloted over the summer, and that was a hotel subsidized transit pass program that targets visitors and guests and allows them to have a transit pass for their stay, making transit more easily accessible for visitors in the region. We're really excited to scale these programs and to report out on the successes in the near future. So I'll pause there for any questions.
Tyler, thank you very much. I have to say, when I heard about the hotel stay, I thought that was so clever to have people that come into our city and actually have the opportunity. So how far out? Is this right through Metro Vancouver? Is it just in the downtown core? Like, how many hotels are actually participating in this?
Yeah, so initially we piloted with 4 hotels in the Vancouver downtown core, just to kind of see how the program was received, and all the participants, hotels and the staff or the guests had fantastic reviews of the program and really enjoyed the program, the accessibility, having a resource to see how do we get to those major sites within the city. So now we're opening it up and we're going to expand it beyond, that core pilot.
And what type of rewards is the incentive? Like, what are riders seeing, and is it worth? I guess, is it worth it for them?
Yeah, so again, this one is in the pilot phase, and we're just working out some of the kinks, but it essentially works like credit card reward points. So the more you ride, you accumulate points, and then those can be used to purchase at this time gift cards to kind of that's the incentive is to cash them in for gift cards.
Great, thank you. Any other questions for Tyler for this really wonderful program that started in infancy and is now 54 employers? And is there any minimum number, just from if anybody's public listening, is there any minimum number of employees that you need to have in order for people to sign up for this?
Yeah, so right now it's 200 employees is considered a large employer, and at that point 10% of the staff need to be subsidized. Under 200, it's 25% of the staff needed to be subsidized. So there's no limit, but there are some different thresholds for qualification based on employer size.
Great, thank you. So I don't see any other questions, Tyler. So obviously the report was covered everything that the board members would like to know, but thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. All right, we're going to move to our consent agenda. We didn't have anything pulled out of consent, so I'm going to ask for someone. We have 2 things in here for approval, decision, and 2 items for information. So can I have a mover and a seconder? Thank you, Alan, and thank you, Gordon. And any further questions? So seeing none, all in favor? Thank you all very much. All right, well, unfortunately, Director Chan has still not joined us yet, so I think we're going to adjourn the meeting. She's not scheduled to join for another 20 minutes because she's delayed on her call. So with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn. I thank you all very much for your time and attention today. So thank you.